Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is sound. So, we have studied in the previous lectures in detail about light, and now sound itself is a very important unit because one 10-mark question will be definitely asked from this unit, and since there is only one chapter in it, so I hope that it will be easy for you to prepare this chapter and very easily you can score 10 marks. So I request you all to at least prepare this chapter very nicely so that you can attempt the question related to sound. Clear? So, what we are going to discuss in this chapter, because sound you have studied in class 8, in class 9th in detail. Now, in class 10th, also we have the same chapter sound. So, first, we are going to just see the introduction of sound, and the main important thing that we have to study is about reflection of sound waves and echoes, from where the questions definitely will be asked in the board examination. And then B part, we have the forced vibration, damped vibration, free vibration, and resonance. And in the third, we have the characteristic of the sound wave. So, all that we have to prepare from this chapter. So, one by one, we'll discuss each of it. But today in this lecture, we are just going to revise what you have studied in class 9th. Okay. So, the first important question is, what is sound? So, obviously sound is a wave and it caused by the vibrations. So like when a drum is struck, so all of you have seen that. So the skin vibrates, the skin of the drum vibrates backwards and forwards very quickly, and it sends the sound waves through the air to our ear. Is it? So this is how sound reaches to our ear when the drum is struck. So we can say that sound is a series of waves caused by the vibrations. So the important question is how sound is produced. So sound is produced when a body vibrates and it reaches to us through the vibrations of the particle of surrounding medium. So the sound requires a medium for its propagation. So this you have studied in class 9, that sound requires a medium for its propagation, and the experiment was also given there. What the experiment was the bell jar experiment, to prove that sound requires a medium for its propagation. So that's all you have studied in class 9. So as I told you that this lecture is just a revision of what you have studied in class 9th. Clear? So this is how the sound is produced by the vibration. Means the vibration, when the body vibrates, it reaches to the vibrations of the particle of the surrounding medium. Now coming to the audible and inaudible range. So this also you all know, that I hope, that human ear can hear the sound which ranges from 20 to 20,000 hertz, which we say that it is the audible range for human ear. And the sound of frequencies above 20,000 hertz, they are ultrasonic, and sounds of frequencies below 20 hertz, they are known as infrasonic. So we human being listen in the sound range of 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, but there are animal present which can listen the sound below 20 hertz and above 20,000 hertz also. So sometimes sound produced by the bats, dolphins, they are ultrasonic, and sometimes the sound detected by cows, elephants, they are infrasonic. Now here you can see in the tabular form the sound range of the human and as well as the animals. So for human, as I told you, all these are given in hertz. It is for from 20 to 20,000 hertz. Then for elephant it is from 16 to 12,000. For cow it is 16 to 40,000. For cat it is 100 to 32,000. For dog it is 40 to 46,000. Then for rabbit it is from 1,000 to 1 lakh. Then for bat, which is very high, 1,000 to 1,000, 1,50,000. Then we have for dolphins also, it is from 70 to 1,50,000. Then for seal it is 900 to 200,000. Then for turtle it is from 20 to 1,000 hertz, and then for frog it is 100 to 300 hertz. It is just, I am giving just a general knowledge question, that what are the audible range of sound. Mostly what you have to learn is about human being. Also sometime for bat, It is because we'll study about uses of echo. So in that we have bat and dolphins, they send the ultrasonic waves. Okay, so all that we'll study in that. So we human being cannot hear the ultrasonic and infrasonic, but certain animals they can produce as well as detect also the ultrasonic and infrasonic. Now again, that you all know that the speed of sound in air, it is 330 meter per second, which is very low in comparison to the speed of light, which is 3 into 10 raised to the power 8. And related to it, mostly the question related to it is asked if you have seen that about lightning and thunder. So why we see the light first, and the sound afterward we listen, but actually the sound is produced first and the light is created afterward. So this is the reason why, because of the difference in the speed of light and speed of sound. So speed of light is much greater, which is 3 into 10 raised to the power 8. So because of that, even the light is produced after the sound, but we see the light first then the sound, due to the difference in the speed. Now here a 3-second gap between the flash of lightning and the sound of thunder means that the storm is about a kilometer away. Now we have few points that you need to know. I hope all of you know that, but just a revision of that. That speed of sound depend on the temperature of the air, and it travels faster through hot air than through cold air. Sound travels faster in hot air than through cold air. Next, it does not depend on the pressure of the air. If atmospheric pressure changes, then speed does not change. So speed of sound does not depend on the pressure of the air. Even if the atmospheric pressure changes, the speed of sound does not changes. This in detail you all have studied in class 9th. Next we have that speed of sound is different through different materials. That means it travels faster in solid, then in liquid, and then in gases. That is why the speed of sound is minimum in gas, which is 330 meter per second. Then for fastest it is in solid and then in liquid. Clear? So these are the few important points that you need to note related to the speed of sound. Now here are the few terms related to sound. Again, this you all know that, but just a revision. First is the amplitude, which is represented by small a, that when a sound wave travels in a medium, the maximum displacement of the particle on either side of its mean position is called the amplitude a, which we represent by small a of the wave. Next is the time period, which we represent by capital T. It is the time taken by the particle of the medium to complete its one vibration. It is called the time period, capital T. Now frequency, which we represent by small f, unit is hertz. It is the number of vibrations made by the particle of the medium in 1 second. Then we have wavelength, which we represent by lambda. The distance traveled by a wave in one time period of vibration of the particle of the medium is called the wavelength lambda. Then we have the wave velocity. So the distance traveled by the wave in 1 second is called the wave velocity. So these are the few definitions that you need to learn. Next we have a relation between wave velocity, frequency and wavelength, and that is V is equal to F lambda. V is wave velocity, F is frequency and lambda is wavelength. And next, a very famous equation, time period and frequency, they are related as F is equal to 1 by T, or you can say that T is equal to 1 by F. Okay. Next we have mechanical waves, because sound is considered to be a mechanical wave. Why? Because sound waves require a medium for its propagation, as I told you, and the transfer of energy by the wave is through the vibration of the medium particle about their mean position. So when these particles vibrate, there is a change in the kinetic energy into the potential energy and vice versa. So sound waves are also called the elastic or mechanical waves. Now mechanical waves, they are of two kinds. They are longitudinal waves and transverse wave. So what is longitudinal wave? So if the vibration of the medium particles are along the direction of propagation of the wave, forming the compressions and rarefactions in the medium, so these waves are called longitudinal wave, and their examples are sound waves in air, in solid and inside a liquid. So longitudinal wave can travel through all medium, solid, liquid and gas. Next is we have transverse wave. So in this case, if the medium particle vibrate normal to the direction of propagation of wave, forming crest and troughs. So the wave is called a transverse wave, and its example is sound waves in solid and on the surface of a liquid. So transverse wave can be formed only in solid and only on the surface of the liquid. Now, this all of you have studied in class 9th, again just a revision as I am giving you. So here is the revision. This is for longitudinal wave. This is how it is formed, forming the compression and rarefaction. Compression region of high pressure, rarefaction region of low pressure. Clear? And the distance between this is compression, this is rarefaction. Now distance between two successive the compressions or two successive rarefaction, it is the wavelength of the wave. Now transverse wave, so in it crest and troughs are formed. So displacement, the maximum displacement in upward direction, as you can see, this is the crest here, and here in the downward direction is the trough, and this the distance between two successive crests, or we can say that two successive troughs, they are known as wavelengths. So this is about transverse wave. Now last we have the distinction between the light waves and sound waves. So light waves, these are the electromagnetic waves, and sound waves, as I told you, these are mechanical waves. And why I am saying the electromagnetic waves, because these waves, the electromagnetic waves, are formed by the periodic vibrations of the mutually perpendicular electric and magnetic fields in a plane normal to the direction of the propagation of waves. So electromagnetic waves are transverse in nature. Means these waves in which the magnetic field and the electric field, they propagate perpendicular to the direction of the propagation of wave. Clear? So light waves are, we say that it is an electromagnetic wave and transverse in nature, while the sound waves are mechanical waves and they are longitudinal. Clear? Next point is, all of you know that light travel in vacuum, but sound requires a medium for its propagation, so they cannot travel in vacuum. Now third is about the speed. So speed of light waves is very high, which is 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second, and speed of sound wave is very low, which is 330 meter per second in air. Now relating to wavelength. So wavelength of light waves which is visible is very small, of the order of 10 raised to the power minus 6 meter, and wavelength of sound wave is in the range of 10 raised to the power minus 2 meter to 10 meter. And last point is, these waves are transverse and sound waves are in air, they are longitudinal. This is a very important question. Mostly it is asked that sound waves in air are longitudinal or transverse. So they are longitudinal. Clear? So this is the complete revision that we had done, what you have studied in class 9th, and in the next lecture we will start the reflection of sound and echo, which is a very important topic, and question related to it definitely will be asked. And just go through this all this video and through your book also, and if you have any doubt then you can clear it, and in the next lecture we'll start the reflection of sound. Thank you.